dashing Gavin Smith could, as they say, charm the skin off a snake.
He walked into a room, he filled it up pretty well. Women were attracted to him and the guys wanted to be him.
But Smith, saddled with marital, financial, and health issues, had suddenly vanished.
I think everyone was hopeful that he needed a breather, that, he just decided to get off the grid for a while.
How does a buff 6'7" movie exec with dazzling looks and a blinding smile go unnoticed?
My partner and I would look at each other and we'd change our minds. Oh, he's a missing person. He just left for a while. Maybe he started using drugs again. Maybe he's in a hotel somewhere.
Los Angeles County Sheriff's detectives begin an exhaustive search for Gavin and put a magnifying glass on his personal and professional life in a desperate search for clues.
It was a little bit out there to believe that this was a murder right at the get-go.
Phone records from around the time of Gavin's disappearance reveal a number that was a glaring standout to Gavin's estranged wife, Lisa.
On that list, she noticed Chandrika's phone number and instantly recognized it.
Lisa told detectives about her husband's cheating with Chandrika Creech, so detectives paid a visit to the mistress. Was she helpful?
She never let us in the house, but we sat down on her porch and we talked to her for a good hour or so, and she admitted to the affair.
But Chandrika insisted she had no idea where Gavin was. Detectives also learned that her husband, John Creech, a drug dealer and avid bodybuilder, was angry about his wife's tryst with the charismatic Gavin Smith.
When he finds out, he gets very upset and begins sending threatening emails to Gavin Smith saying, I know what you're doing.
Gavin's wife, Lisa, told detectives she was so afraid of John Creech and his threats on her husband, she had once done something unthinkable. Lisa boldly drove 2 of her sons to John Creech's house to try and make peace.
The way she describes it, it was going to be like a family-to-family situation, and that if she was able to get, quote-unquote, the families together, then Gavin would back off and Chandrika would back off, and there would be no need for John Creech to be angry.
Lisa waited in the car while her youngest and eldest sons took what must have seemed like an endless walk to the intimidating John Creech's front door.
The 2 of them would go and talk to John Creech, and basically in an effort to get John Creech not to hurt their father. The boys basically said, listen, we know that our father is having an affair with your wife and that we're very sorry about it.
According to reports, Gavin's youngest boy, Austin, who was only 14 at the time, told Creech, "I'm in the 8th grade. I'm too young to lose my dad." Gavin's sister Tara and brother Greg questioned Lisa's seemingly dangerous decision.
Was it difficult when you heard that she and the boys went over to John Creech's house?
I was quite upset. Why would you send your own children who were underage to confront somebody who think you might murder your husband? I don't get that.
John Creech was even floored by the gutsy move.
Creech was taken aback that they had come to his residence, and then he was angry about having to talk to the boys.
But perhaps the plea for mercy worked.
Ultimately, John Creech makes the statement that you saved your father's life by coming here. That was the way that everybody left it. Coming to the house had, quote unquote, saved their father's life, and the boys left feeling that their father wasn't going to continue having an affair with Creech's wife.
Detectives were alarmed after hearing these stunning accounts from Gavin's mistress, wife, and sons. They sensed Gavin's disappearance was no disappearance at all. John Creech, they believed, could be a man with deadly potential. And Chandrika Creech may have known more than she was telling.
We knew that we had to look at John Creech and his wife, Chandrika Creech, and we had to basically clear them from any type of allegations.
It turns out Chandrika was not honest when she first told cops she hadn't seen Gavin and didn't know what happened to him.
We did an undercover sting where we had an informant meet with Chandrika Creech, and during that conversation, she laid out exactly what happened.
And the devil is in the stunning details that Chandrika unwittingly spilled to the informant, beginning with the last night Gavin was ever seen alive.
Chandrika and Gavin make plans to meet up again. This time, Chandrika is going to drive to a predetermined location where they're going to meet, kind of a lover's lane for kids.
Creech is suspicious and decides to track her down.
They all have this AT&T family map plan with their cell phone plan, which allows you to be able to track ostensibly where your kids are.
And your wife in this case.
And your wife in this case. And when he finds them, Chandrika is in Gavin's car. They're both seated in the passenger seat of Gavin's Mercedes-Benz. Chandrika is sitting in Gavin Smith's lap.
Chandrika says Creech catches them in a lip lock and becomes unhinged. She jumps out of the car while her lover's towering frame remains trapped in the reclined passenger seat, being beaten to a pulp by a jealous husband on steroids.
John Creech is straddling him, according to Chandrika, and being repeatedly punched by Creech, Gavin Smith to the face.
The injuries to his face is equivalent to falling off a two-story building and landing face first.
He was pummeled.
Yes.
And those lethal weapons called fists were still ready to punish, according to Chandrika.
John Creech stops, gets out of the car, tells Chandrika, "You're next."
Up next, what does a raging John Creech have planned for his wife?
He confronts Chandrika, who's cowering in her grandmother's bedroom.
And is Gavin Smith dead or alive?
Tells her that if she doesn't drive him back to the location, he's going to tell the police that she was involved in Gavin Smith's murder.